Assalamu alaikum and good morning, my dear students. How are you all? Hope you all are doing well. I welcome all of you to yet another class of biology. Okay, so what we discussed in the last chapter, we studied in the last chapter about the cells, right? We were studying about the cells, and we studied that all organisms are made up of cells. And we discussed about unicellular organisms, multicellular organisms. What was unicellular organism? Which the organism are made up of single cell, right? And this single cell will perform all the functions. But is the same in the case of multicellular organism? In multicellular organism, different types of cells are present, right? You have studied it like nerve cells, muscle cells, blood cells, etc. Is it? And they carry different functions too. Muscle cells will help in the movement of muscles, whereas nerve cell will help to carry the messages, and blood cells help in the transportation of materials. Right? So different cells perform different functions. And you know that not only the single cell is performing this function, a group of cells is performing this specific function. Is it? So there will be a group of muscle cells, a group of nerve cells and a group of blood cells in our body. So what is it called? Is it same as cell? Is it called cell? No, right? They are called tissues. Okay, a group of cells having similar function or a group of similar cells performing a particular function is called tissues. So in today's class we will be discussing about tissues. Okay, so the next chapter is about tissues.
What are tissues? Tissues are a group of cells that are similar in structure and work together to achieve a particular function. Okay, so simply tissues means a group of cells having a particular function. So there are plant tissues and animal tissues. Okay, so first we will look at the plant tissues. So plant tissues are mainly of two types, meristematic tissues and permanent tissues. Okay, and these permanent tissues are again classified into two, that is simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. And simple permanent tissue are of three types, parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. And complex permanent tissues are of two types, that is xylem and phloem. So we will look each of them in detail. So first we will look at meristematic tissues. So meristematic tissues are growth tissues that are found in the growing regions of the plant. Okay. And the cells of meristematic tissues will divide continuously and help in increasing the length and girth of the plant, that is the length and width of the plant. Okay. The characteristics of meristematic tissues include the cells of meristematic tissue are similar in structure and have a thin cellulose cell walls. And the meristematic cells may be in spherical, oval, polygonal or rectangular in shape. Okay, they can form different shape. And the meristematic cells are compactly arranged and do not contain any intercellular space between them. Intercellular space means usually there will be a space between two or more cells. Okay, between two cells there will be a space. So in the case of meristematic tissues, this space will be absent. That is why it is said the intercellular space are absent. Okay, so they are closely arranged without intercellular spaces. And next one is each meristematic cell contains dense or abundant cytoplasm and a single large nucleus. Okay, this cytoplasm will be abundant and the nucleus will be large. And the vacuoles are absent, and if present it will be present only a few. Okay. And next, based on the position in the plant, meristems are divided into three, that is apical meristem, lateral meristem and intercalary meristem. So first, apical meristems. These are situated at the growing tip of stems and root, that is shoot apex and root apex. And apical meristems are also found at the apices of the leaves, that is at the tips of the leaves. So the function of the apical meristem is to increase in length of its axis. Okay, to increase the length. It is a function of the apical meristem. Next is lateral meristem. A lateral meristem is found beneath the bark. That means beneath the skin of the plant. Okay, and they will be present on the lateral side of the stem and root. Okay, they will be present on the lateral side of the stem and root, and their function is to increase in the diameter of the plant, that is the width of the plant. Okay, apical meristem was to increase the length of the plant, and the lateral meristem is to increase the width of the plant or diameter of the plant. Next one is intercalary meristem. They are located at the base of the leaf or internode. Internode means the space between two leaves. Okay, it is the internode, the space between two nodes. Node means the point where the leaf is attached to the stem, and internode means the difference, the space between two leaves. We can simply say the space between two leaves. Okay, so it will be present at the base of the leaf or internode of the leaf. The intercalary meristem will increase the length of the plant. Okay, it will increase the length of the plant and its organs like leaf, flower, fruits, etc. Okay. So what are the functions of meristematic tissues? So the main function of meristematic tissue is to continuously form a number of new cells, and it will help in the growth of the plant. Okay, and also meristematic tissue act as a parent tissue from which other tissues develop. That means it will help to develop the formation of help in the development of permanent tissues. Okay, so these are the functions of meristematic tissues. Also, the meristematic tissues will help to heal the injury formed in the plants. Okay, if there is a injury is present in the plant, it will be healed by the formation of new cells by the meristem. Okay, so these are the functions of meristematic tissues. So next one is permanent tissues. So what are permanent tissues? So when the cells formed by meristematic tissue take up a specific role and lose the ability to divide. Okay, so the meristematic tissues has an ability to divide continuously, but after that what will happen? It loses its specific ability to divide. As a result, they form a permanent tissue. Okay, so this process of taking up a permanent shape, size and a function is called a differentiation. Okay, and this process is called a differentiation. And differentiation leads to the development of various types of permanent tissue. Okay, so cells of meristematic tissue differentiate to form different type of permanent tissues. Permanent means it will lose the ability to divide continuously. Okay, it will become permanent. It will acquire permanent shape, size and function, and that's how it will become a permanent tissue. So as we said, permanent tissue is again divided into simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissues are composed of cells which are structurally and functionally similar. Okay, thus these tissues are all made up of one type of cells. These tissues are made up of only one type of cells. That's why it is called a simple permanent tissue. So there are three types of simple permanent tissue, that is parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. So first one is parenchyma. So this parenchyma is widely distributed in plant bodies such as stem, root, leaves, flowers and fruits. And parenchyma tissues is found in the soft parts of the plant. Okay, such as the cortex of the root, ground tissues in terms and mesophyll of leaves, etc. That is, it is present in the soft parts of the plant. So the cells of parenchyma will be isodiametric. That means they will be equally expanded on all cells, and they may be oval, round, polygonal or elongated in shape. And the nucleus, since the nucleus is present in parenchyma cells, they are living cells. Since the nucleus is present, they are living cells, and the cell wall are thin and are made up of cellulose. Okay, and the cytoplasm will be dense with a single large vacuole. Vacuole is present in the parenchyma cells, and the intercellular spaces will be present and may contain chlorophyll. So parenchyma which contain chlorophyll are called chlorenchyma. Okay, the chlorophyll containing parenchyma are called chlorenchyma. So look at this picture. This is chlorenchyma. Look at here. This green colored cells are called chlorenchyma because it contains chlorophyll. Okay, can you see these dot like structures? These are chlorophyll and it contains chlorophyll. That's why it is chlorenchyma. Next, look at the function of parenchyma. Parenchyma will store and assimilate the food, and it will give mechanical strength by maintaining the turgidity. Turgidity means it will be a swollen form. Okay, it will be like a parenchyma cells will be like a swell one. Then prepare food if chlorophyll is present. Okay, and if it is chlorophyll containing parenchyma, it will prepare food. And since we have said that there is a large vacuole, they will store waste products like tannin, gum, crystals and resins. Okay, they will store the plant waste in different forms in the vacuole. Next one is collenchyma. Collenchyma are found under the skin, that is below the epidermis of the dicot stems. Okay. The collenchyma cells will be elongated and are circular or oval or polygonal in their shape. And cell wall is unevenly thickened with cellulose at the corners against the intercellular spaces. So the cell wall will be thickened. In the parenchyma it was thin cell wall. In the case of collenchyma it is a thickening. Okay, so nucleus is present, hence the tissue is living. Vacuoles will be small and intercellular spaces are generally absent in the case of collenchyma. If they contain chlorophyll, they are called chlorenchyma. Okay, so the collenchyma containing chlorophyll are called chlorenchyma. This collenchyma is the mechanical tissue of the plant. They will provide the mechanical support and elasticity to the stem of the plants. Next is sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma will be present in the stems, root, veins of leaves and hard coverings of seeds and nuts. For example, husk of the coconut is made of sclerenchymatous tissue. The cells are long, narrow and thick and are lignified, usually pointed at both ends. The cell walls of sclerenchyma are generally thickened by lignin. Okay, such cell wall are called lignified cell wall. Okay, lignin is a complex polymer which acts as a cement and hardens the cell wall, and it will provide the flexibility and great tensile and strength to the plant. Okay, so nucleus is absent in the case of sclerenchyma. That's why sclerenchyma is dead cells. They have very simple, often oblique pits. Pits means there will be some pores in the cell walls. The middle lamella exists between two sclerenchymatous cells is clearly visible. Okay, that is, they are conspicuous. They will be clearly visible between two adjacent cells. So now, what is the function of sclerenchyma cells? They give the mechanical support to the plant by giving rigidity, flexibility and elasticity to the plant body. So next, look at the epidermal cells. What do you mean by epidermis? If you observe, the cells by taking a cross section of the stem. The outermost layer of cells are called epidermis. Okay, the epidermis is usually made of a single layer of cells. In some plants which is living in dry habits, the epidermis will be thick in order to protect it against the water loss. So the entire plant surface will be covered by this epidermis. It protects all the parts of the plant, and epidermal cells are on the aerial parts of the plant. Often secrete a waxy, water-resistant layer on the outer surface in order to protect against the loss of water, mechanical injury, and invasion of the parasitic fungi, etc. In the case of epidermis of the leaf, there will be some small pores which are called stomata. Okay, stomata, you know that stomata are enclosed by two kidney-shaped cells called God cells, and they help in the exchanging of gases with the atmosphere. And also transpiration, that means loss of water in the form of water vapor, also takes place through these stomata. Epidermal cells are also present in the roots, and they will function for water absorption, and they commonly have long hair-like structures that will increase the absorptive surface area. Okay, they increase the surface area for absorbing the water. And in some plants like desert plants, their epidermis will be thick waxy coating made of cutin, which is a chemical substance with waterproof quality on its surface. There will be a covering of cutin on the surface of the desert plants in order to reduce or protect it from losing of water. Okay, this is about the epidermal cells. Next is the complex permanent tissue. Okay, what is it? Complex permanent tissue. Complex permanent tissue includes xylem and phloem. Complex tissues will be made up of more than one type of cells. Okay, simple permanent tissues was made of same kind of cells, but complex permanent tissues are made of more than one type of cells. All these cells coordinate to perform a common function. You know that xylem and phloem, which are complex tissues, they are called conducting tissues, is it? And they constitute the vascular bundle. So vascular bundle is a complex tissue. Okay, so xylem consists of xylem tracheids, xylem vessels, and xylem fibers, and also xylem parenchyma. Okay, so xylem, which is a complex permanent tissue, are made up of different types of cells, that is xylem tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. Okay, so the tracheids and vessels have thick walls and are made of dead cells. When they are mature, they become dead. Tracheids and vessels are tubular structures. This allows them to transport water and minerals vertically in the plants. Okay, and the parenchyma, xylem parenchyma will store the food, and the xylem fibers are mainly helpful in the supportive, or their function is supportive. They will be supportive in function. Okay, and next is phloem. Phloem is made up of 5 types of cell, that is sieve cells, sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fibers, and phloem parenchyma. And sieve tubes are tubular cells with perforated walls. Perforated means with pores. Okay, phloem transport, as you know, phloem transport food from leaves to different parts of the plant, right? So except phloem fibers, other phloem cells are living cells. So that's all about the topic.
So students, what all things we discussed today? We discussed about plant tissues, right? So what are the plant tissues and which are the plant tissues? Plant tissues are classified into meristematic tissues and permanent tissues. And these permanent tissues are again classified into simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues, right? And simple permanent tissues are of 3 types, that is parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. And complex permanent tissues are of 2 types, that is xylem and phloem. Okay, so I think all of you have understood the topics. So if you have any doubts, we will discuss it in the live classes. Okay, that's all. Thank you.